All right. You're going to hear a bunch of stuff about Tyler being bald, my dad not being very skinny, and Gozo's a really cool guy.
One of those is true on today's episode, but we also talk about entertaining soccer from RSL in Vancouver.
Do we have a right back?
Oh, yeah. We go on and on and on about the difference between a right back and a left back. We talk about the defensive woes.
And we talk about the fan war.
What did you Fan war?
No, fan VAR.
Oh, fan
we
VAR.
talk about you taking charge of VAR and all of that.
Because we haven't got any good VARs this year. And the Miller Group, how they're going to interact with us, maybe. Some ideas, some thoughts.
All of that and more on this episode of the RSL Random Fan Podcast. Let's start with the starting lineup. Vancouver versus Real Salt Lake at the Riot. The starting lineup for Real Salt Lake. In goal, Rafa Cabral. Catranis on the left back, then Justin Glad, Brian Vera, Noel Caliscan on the right back. Looks like that's his position. In the middle, Anelli. Ruiz with the start. Outside, on the left, Luna. Gozo in the middle. Mark Chuk on the right. And Willie Agata up top. Starting lineup for Real Salt Lake. On the bench, Stadohar, Junka, Hidalgo, Ojeda, Russell, Quinton, Palacio, Herzakani.
Aiden Hazarkani, dude.
And
I was so excited for him to make the bench. That was
Arieth Pio. So let's just jump right into it. We don't got time because they scored right off the bat.
Boom.
Boom. They scored.
Boom. They scored.
Luna plays the ball down the line, and Gozo gets into that channel. We've been calling for that all season long. Mm-hmm. How long? And then finally, Pablo's like, yeah, Gozo's playing a little higher up, and we asked him to play higher, and we're like, sweet, that combination worked out. And he's like, dude, at graduation, I just, I was thinking maybe if, someone spread their legs, I'd just hit it. That's what he said.
Whoa,
and I was like, bro, dude, whoa, Gozo, calm down, bro.
Hey, it was his first goal. He was excited.
That's almost what he said. It wasn't exactly that. But it wasn't far off of that either, dude. I was like, whoa. Because somebody asked him, I think it was you that asked him, is it more fun to score a goal or was it more fun at graduation or something?
Score a goal.
Yeah, it was score a goal, definitely. But then that's kind of how he described it. It was like, I saw his legs open and I was like, go for it. So that's when he hit it near post and boom, 1-0. And the stadium seemed to go nuts. I mean, I was home on my couch recovering from surgery, but you guys were there. How did it feel?
It was exciting. It was very exciting. A lot of people are like taking credit for it, right? Because they that's what they always wanted was
Gozo to score.
Gozo up top. And
Who was taking credit?
well, I'm just kidding. It was a joke.
Oh.
Inside joke. If you don't get it, never mind.
What was the inside joke?
Well, I'm not going to tell you.
Oh, sorry. I wasn't inside of it.
You weren't. So, yeah, they go up 1-0, and the stadium erupts, and all of the bad times are over.
Yep, it's
Sure
cleansed. Yep, it is cleansed. It's positivity galore.
Especially when, 3 minutes later, ball gets whipped wide. We're playing really well. All the young guys are getting after it. Cross comes whipping in. And I don't know if you guys saw this, but Gozo kind of made a run through. And so he was just in front of the defender who kind of half jumped. And that's why Takaoka punched that ball out. So Gozo kind of caused that to happen a little bit by him flashing through and then the guy reacting late and kind of ducking the cross. And then Takaoka had to react late because he ducked the cross, and then it fell right to Luna, who just cracked it right in.
That's another goal. It's like at least a second goal this year where Luna has been in the box, crashing the box, and been in the right place at the right time, doing what he needs to be doing, and boom, we are up 2-0. It's the first time ever for Real Salt Lake, and the first time since 2018 where an MLS club had 2 goals in the first 4 minutes. And
That's pretty amazing.
From there, just smooth sailing.
It was easy. It was easy peasy.
Yeah. After that, just park the bus and see
lock
the
down
result
defense.
out.
No, it wasn't park the bus, which was good.
That's true.
It wasn't. I think Vera had a really great pass.
Maybe if it had been Park the Bus, that might be a different
No,
story.
no. If it was Park the Bus, we're getting Austin all over again in the finals. No, it was a really, really great play leading up to absolutely everything. Still attacking. The back line was still playing really well. That Ocampo guy, the right back for Vancouver, dude, he got beat so many times. Like, Catranis made so many moves around him. Luna got a couple moves, and Gozo was just dancing all over this guy. Like, that guy needed to get subbed out. But really, really aggressive play until it was a lot of unfortunate. It was a series of unfortunate events.
It was a series of unfortunate events, and it just depends on how you read the book, right?
Absolutely.
So, I mean, Gozo's a young guy. How do you guys know where he was at on the list of youngest ever scorers? Third place.
Corey Baird is second?
For RSL.
Louise Gill, youngest ever RSL player. Freddie Adu, both 17 and,
so many days.
265 and 352. But Gozo was only, 60, 70 days behind Freddie Adu.
What have you been doing?
He's got to do more homework, man.
Right.
Slacking? You could have done it. I mean, could have had a goal.
That's
what
great,
have you been doing?
Young guys, he's been dangerous. He's been getting close. And for him to get one, finally, I think really shows his gusto.
Well, other than rotation, like 3 games in a week, like we have this week, they played Saturday, and then they play Wednesday in Austin, and then Saturday again in LA against the Galaxy. When does Gozo come out of the lineup, or does he ever come out of the lineup?
Yeah, I think we rotate. I think that's Pablo's MO, if you will, is to rotate the guys through. And I watched the broadcast, because I was sitting in my chair recovering.
Sad.
Anyway, so when I was watching, they kept showing Zach McMath, and I'm like, quit it. Every time freaking Rafa made a save, they were like, here's Zach McMath's face when, like, stop it. Quit it. Dude, Apple TV, stop. Apple TV makes some stupid video.
Do they not like Zach or
I don't know what they're doing. Like,
I don't think they fully know what's going on at RSL.
I don't think they know what's going on.
He's out.
In
He
soccer.
used to start. Now this guy's starting. He's having a great game. And
yeah, like a guy throws the ball in, and instead of following the ball, they just zoom in on a player because they're like, oh, here's Noel Kelliskin. He's not even near the ball. He's like jogging up the field, and the ball's going down the other wing, and they get a shot off, and they miss it. And it's like, quit it, Apple TV. Anyway, I don't know if they've heard of this new technology where you can put the picture inside the picture, where you can show a little picture of the dude running around and then still show the game. That would be cool.
I love the view behind the goal. I think the view behind the goal needs to be used more, and maybe just like right above the goal. Yeah. So like on the corners, like it needs to be like that. That would be sick.
Yeah, because you can see him closer, all the people jostling and stuff.
Oh yeah, and I really want, for the love of everything holy, I want there to be a perfect angle for offsides. Can there just be an angle, a video review angle of just perfect
lasers?
Well, yeah, you can do lasers, but I mean,
across the field, just thousands of lasers.
You need to be able to see every challenge in 4 areas. You know what I mean? You have to be able to see north, east, west, south.
Why don't we have 4D technology on the field yet? What are they doing? What are they doing?
Maybe it's
so
expensive.
Speaking of corner kicks, since you brought it up, the game was really nice. RSL started off fast, and then they kept up the pressure. They actually had a couple of chances where the one where the ball came, Catranis was just, like you said, he was marauding up and down the left side and just creating havoc, getting to the end line.
And dishing it back, yeah.
And Agata had that one where it came in, but Takaoka was just right there, bounced off his chest, out for...
Could have been 3-0.
Yeah, and maybe that's a different game always, right? But you never know with this club this year.
I know.
But it was fun. I think it was probably the most entertaining game I've watched this year with RSL.
The first half, absolutely. And I think the first 20 minutes was probably like, ooh, this is without a DP. We've never looked better. Like, that's crazy to me. But, yeah, the first 20 minutes, Vera was sending the ball down. Gozo got caught off sides. The other one, Mark Juke was actually not too bad. later in the game, he was super gassed, but going up that right side, he was actually connecting and doing things, which was really impressive to see. But I don't understand. I have to ask this question. In the post game, they talked about how they're like, "Oh, are you glad that it's you and Mark and Dom out there?" Meaning Gozo and Dominic Marchuk. Are they like buddies or something?
No. I
No.
think somebody.
I think somebody just wanted to see it because
Oh, they're both young.
they were both young and they were playing with our DP. What's his name?
Diogo.
Cabral. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Brian just loves to give him such a hard time.
Well, Diogo, I don't know if you know this, he is our DP. I just have to remind people because he's not reminding anyone that he's a DP.
He's struggling right
That's
now.
a terrible
Yeah.
job.
Yeah.
Sorry, Diogo, but he's struggling right now.
I'm sure he's worried about your opinion.
Well, yeah. Anyways, first 20 minutes.
I'm worried about him being
Beautiful
his
play.
opinion about me because I need.
Well,
What if Cabral isn't my boyfriend anymore?
That's true. You got to date
So anyway,
somebody.
interrupting too much. Go ahead, Brennan.
Overall, movement and play was different, in my opinion, than we've seen in the past. People were a lot closer to each other, making moves, especially in the upper third on the left. That's like our go-to since we got 2 floating 10s there. But that movement on the left really set up for a lot of backdoor runs, getting in front of the goal. It was really, really impressive. And I don't really feel that the next 2 things that happen really, honestly, mean we suck.
No.
Because I think fans right now feel like, man, RSL just can't put it together. But this isn't a game I would say you would throw in to say that we suck.
No, and against the best team in the West, and they're playing so well right now.
And we made them look like they were not anywhere close to the best team.
Right. And for a good 20 minutes, which is impressive.
I still think, well, definitely first 20 minutes, but majority of this game, absolutely.
We outplayed them.
Absolutely.
I agree. And that's a hard part is but the result, and Anelli said that a little bit in the post game too, right? Was the results aren't matching the effort.
The effort and the quality.
And the quality. So it's not translating yet on the field. I think one of you two asked him about his closeness or proximity to the team and how they're getting along, why they're not falling apart even though they're having a rough
Yeah, it was
run
this
of
guy.
form. Yeah, good job. Way to go, Brant. It's almost like
I
you're
know.
a reporter.
And do you know what's
or
even
something.
better, though? Hey, are you
What's
watching
that?
this?
Yeah.
He actually walks and sits in the front row now. His confidence is going up, dude.
What?
He is up there. Now people don't look
Level
around
up.
to pass the mic. Now people look at him and go,
Yeah.
because they know.
He'll say something.
He'll say something, absolutely.
Yeah, at least
It's incredible.
At least he'll ask them.
Well, okay, Tyler, can you break us down what happened in that after the 20 minutes?
So we gave up a corner, and for a minute there, they were kind of pinging the ball around pretty good. They had a few balls swing across and didn't hit anybody. And then their corner kicks, man, it's like they have these spots picked out. You know how in basketball where a guy finds his spot on the floor and he knows, okay, I'm at the key right side. This is my spot. I make this shot 90% of the time. It's like Vancouver has that with corner kicks. They're like, okay, I'm just going to look over there, and Brian White's going to know that it's the back end of the 6, and I'm just going to put it right on the far post, and I'm just going to kind of give him a wink from 60 yards away, and he knows right where to go to head it in.
Yeah.
And to be fair, Kalskin was right on him, but he's shorter than him.
And
so
he didn't elevate, and he didn't look at the ball.
He didn't jump, and he didn't see the ball coming. Definitely 2 things that are no-nos when you're this short guy, depending on
Against
corners,
a
right?
national team player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he just headed it straight in.
Well, I think if you look at that play,
Okay, this is my favorite part.
Break it down, brother.
Look at that
Okay,
play.
look at it.
Look at another play. Brian White Caliscan walks over to Brian White, and Vancouver goes, what? This guy's on him. So what do? They just spread out.
Everybody walks away from him.
Everybody walks away. Brian White stands in the middle, and he's and then they send the ball
2
in.
feet inside the post, right?
They send the ball in. He does just a little, and Caliscan goes
Well,
flying.
he kind of faked one way, then the other way, then the other way.
And
it
Caliscan
kind of froze Caliscan. Yeah.
Caliscan was trying to push him, and he's just standing there.
Yeah.
Caliscan was like up on his shoulder. He's trying to push him, and Brian's just standing there. Just a little push off, and it was just
Head it straight.
way too freaking easy.
Yeah.
It made Trey mad. That was funny.
Yeah, it made some people in the press box pretty upset.
Because it was so simple.
It was
simple to defend.
but that's hard though because
But it is hard. Yeah.
when you talk about like who's
It's
got
simple,
who,
but it's not easy.
Well, they said it in the post game. Please go to the post game. Watch the post game. It's really informative.
It's on our Instagram.
It's on our Instagram. But they said, before they go out there, they have already got their matchup set.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, due to the fact that the center backs of Vancouver are really tall, they're going to take our center backs on them.
Yeah, and Blackman scored a lot too on set pieces. So
Yeah.
it's dangerous. Yeah.
So it was pre-planned, but this is also leading to another point that a lot of people are talking about is why is Caliscan our right back? Yes, he did good, but why is it that we have time and time again, some would say, I'm quoting like 4 different people that tell me this at work. But where is our right back as a good right back? Not somebody that gets it done, I guess you could say, but somebody who, hey, that's our right back. You know what I mean? Like not like
We don't have that. We have a lot of other positions like that.
Yeah,
like,
starting the season, we had a couple guys lined up for it, but we've had injury.
But when you think about it, in the last 3 years, so Pablo's reign for the most part. Where's the?
Yeah, why? That's a great question. We went on and on about Andrew Brody, and now we're getting it back because we're never like maybe
Where's Brody?
Where's Andrew?
Well,
Brody?
no. It was still the same thing. Andrew Brody was still doing the exact same thing we complain
Exactly.
about.
Same thing with
I don't know.
Hidalgo when he got in.
I wish I asked this, but like my biggest thing is like, why is it we are so heavy on the left? Why can't we have someone just play just a little bit off the right? just a little bit. You know what I mean? You watched Caliscan when he got the ball. It was exactly. You're looking at Bodie Hidalgo the same way. You're like, oh, Andrew Brody does this. They go, Glad, bam. They turn around and pass it back. No options whatsoever. And you see Mark Juke just like, oh, feed me, come on, just give me a ball, let me touch the ball, like let me just do something all the time. Right. But our right back decisions are always pass it back, let's work it around.
And there's times when Mark Juke's open and they just don't play him the ball, or whoever's on the right, play it down the line.
Yeah.
And support it, and then, like, we're really good when we attack down that right side.
Yes.
I love it. But at the same time, like, if we don't think it's on, it's like, wah.
Yeah. And it's like, even though, because when you're on the field and you have your favorites, you have your people that, like, you saw it later in the game with Luna on the ball near the box. He totally didn't pass to Hidalgo. He went to Anelli. There is that point where you have this certain confidence with certain people. Trust, yeah. And sometimes you're wrong. Sometimes the person you don't believe is the right choice is the right choice. And I feel like Mark Juke is kind of that kid right now. People aren't thinking he's the right choice, but he kind of needs to be, so you need to give him the ball. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I think he's a fantastic player, and he's on the up and up. And there's going to be times when he just loses the ball. But that's what happens as a young player. Like, get it going forward, lose it going forward. That's okay, and then let's hustle back and get back. But, man, between him and Gozo, it was a lot of excitement. And that's kind of my big takeaway from this game is, like, let's at least play entertaining soccer. If we can't play winning soccer, let's at least entertain.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, June. Ooh.
Because, I mean, if we can't win, let's at least play fun.
Yeah. And get some kids out there.
Yeah. And let the kids play, right?
Let the kids play.
And that's kind of what it looks like we're doing now.
Oh, we stopped talking about the first half, though.
Yeah, well, I was just going to point out, between the talking about the first goal and now, was a lot longer than between the first goal and the second goal during the game.
Yeah.
Because it was like 2 minutes.
Right.
Was it 2 minutes?
Oh, it was almost less than 2 minutes. It was
No
boom.
way.
And boom, yeah.
Yeah, because the goal was in the 20th minute, and then the handball
Oh, yeah, 4 minutes apart.
was the handball was less than 2 minutes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let's talk about the handball, right?
Okay. Yeah, we're waiting
dude,
for you to
hold
talk.
on. Let me make
Let's-
sure I'm comfortable.
Okay, let's
Hold on. So they can we just finish the half and then we'll talk about the handball?
Well, it was before halftime.
Oh, okay. That's
Right.
That's true. Sorry.
So,
Sorry.
I don't even remember who headed it. It was probably Brian White because he headed everything. So,
It was Agabagaba.
okay.
I got ba.
There.
It's
And so-
it's a great name. I'm not trying to make fun of it, but it was Ada
Oh, Adakua.
Okay.
Kugbe.
Oh, yeah,
Sam.
never mind. That was not the right person.
Okay,
Anyway.
so Sam comes
yeah.
up,
Hey,
heads
Sam.
the ball, and our man, our up front guy, our William Agata, who is zonal marking at the time. He's kind of in the zone and trying to just clear balls out. Like, you do that. You put your front guy in case there's a bad cross in. Your front guy's playing zone, just trying to attack that ball in case they mishit it. It doesn't just bounce through, right? So yeah, that's good coaching to have that. Sam's kind of playing he heads the ball and it's going towards goal. So like that's my first requirement to say, should we call it a penalty, right? Like, is the ball going towards goal at all, right?
Yeah.
And then the second is, does the defender know anything about it?
So
And did he know anything about it? No. Was he jumping in a normal way? Yes. Was he flailing his arms out? Not really. I mean, his arms were out a little bit, but he wasn't flailing them. That's how you jump, you know? And so I don't love that. But also, it would have went right to Cabral, right? Like, if you think about, okay, if he doesn't hit that, if that doesn't hit him at all, what happens, right?
goes to Cabral.
And if it's going in and it's clear and nobody's near it, then yeah, you got to call out a handball for sure. But when the keeper's like standing behind him, going like this, like ready to just catch that sweet little baby header,
Yeah.
like, oh, come on. Like, I don't love the rule. I get why you have to call it a penalty, and it is a penalty by the laws of the game, but I don't love it.
No.
It makes you think, okay, I'm just going to jump up here, and now that I'm heading this ball, guess what? His arm's out. I'm just going to head it at his arm. That's easier than trying to get it past the goalie.
Yeah.
And so that's why I hate it, because it's a cheap interpretation. It's a cheap way to manufacture a goal without actually earning it. You know what I mean?
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Yeah.
It kind of cheapens the game a little bit. Just like when guys get in the box and they would just kick it into somebody's hand before they changed the law. And they were like, oh, penalty.
Oh, that's dumb.
And your hand was inside your body, and like, come on, man! Like, it would have hit me in the goods, right? You gotta protect the goods, man.
So the one thing I'm not familiar with is the person is not aware of where the ball is. Is that really a thing?
No,
No. Oh, okay.
But like, if I'm diving in front of you and I stick my arm out and I'm clearly trying to block the goal, fine.
That's a red card. That's not a penalty. That's a red card.
Yeah, but like if I'm running, like the Austin playoff game from forever ago, where our guy turned his body like this and
Yeah.
it just hit his outstretched arm,
Past his sleeve.
but it was like outstretched by like 6 inches. You know, like, come on, that's not what that law's there for.
Yeah.
You know. And I don't know if we have to get in there and draw geometry to say, would that ball have gone in? Would it has to be on goal, but like, it's getting complicated. It's already too complicated. I get it.
I don't have a problem with this being a handball. I just wish it was more consistent. I don't mind it being the handball. He wasn't even watching the ball. He was in the middle of the play. He did jump. His arm was out.
But he's also, it's naturally falling down, so he's not getting bigger. He's
Right.
not making himself bigger. It's his natural balance, right?
Right.
And you could argue, because if it's about balance and all that, about him floating down, then the possible other handball with Whitecaps, he was balancing himself and the ball went over his hands and touched him. And
So
so
it hit both of his arms.
yeah, it hit both of his arms. But
Right,
since they
so-
were touching on the ground, they apparently said it wasn't a handball.
Still, right? Like, if
I think
I don't know.
I think if Willie's is a handball, that should be a handball.
I think so, because you have to just
That-
say no matter what. If it touches your hands in any way.
If it's away from your body.
Yeah, away from your body, blocked it.
And he blocked
Call
it
them
from
both.
actually going to an RSL player, too.
Yeah, absolutely. It was fully for our benefit for that.
One thing, too, on
And
Agata.
Not reviewed.
I don't even
Not sent
know.
down.
Well, we don't know. If
No, they didn't pause the game for it, is what I mean.
They
No.
didn't. The VAR didn't think it was worth reviewing.
And on the
Well-
Apple broadcast, it didn't even replay it.
Really?
They showed it live, and then they were like, "This is what they're looking at," and they showed it again in fast motion. Like they didn't slow it down, they didn't zoom in, they didn't. Like, come on.
But on the first goal, Willie Agata was there, and Willie's a big guy. Maybe Willie should have been. He's the one that should have been marking
Maybe.
White.
But
'Cause he's a bigger presence because he was just in there and he just kind of got out of the way. And anyway, it went from 2-0 RSL to boom
2-2.
2-2 against the best team in the West. And then RSL, the momentum did kind of switch to Vancouver for a little bit, and they kept putting the pressure on. But RSL made it into halftime, tied 2-2. But it was entertaining all game long, which I really loved. It never felt like RSL was out of it. Had a conversation before the game. Some people are a lot more optimistic than I was. I didn't think the RSL was going to get blitzed or run off the pitch. Mm-hmm. I thought they would be competitive, and they were. I didn't expect them to go ahead and then blow a 2-goal lead. But I never expected them to get run off the pitch and get 5-0.
But we still gave up 3 goals, right? Like that sucks. Like
It
we
does,
played
it
pretty
does.
well and gave up 3 goals, which is kind of what I predicted. But I predicted we'd only get 1, and we got 2. So I was happy to be wrong on that side.
Yeah, and I love the fact that we talked about it in the post game. You can see it from the team. It is starting to. You done playing with that?
You all right
Yes,
over there?
I'm done. Sorry.
There are cracks a little bit. It seems like because the pressure has to be getting to them, but it hasn't broken. They are still focused. They're still a team, and you can see that the chemistry is there. But if they're just not good enough to get wins, at some point, it will.
Sure.
It will. The weight of it.
No, good things come to those who wait.
Yeah, and if we played like that against Austin or somebody that's having a bad year too and lost to them, then fine. But this was the best team in the West, so
I think a lot of
with
positives.
perspective.
But
we were about to walk out of here with 1 point at home against the best team in the West. We were going to. It was actually a really good game for us. No DP, nothing.
So let's get to halftime. What do we get to halftime?
To that, they kept panning up to the box where Dom was sitting there with, or Diogo was sitting there with, who was up there? Brown.
Kobe Henry?
Kobe Henry was up there. Yep. There were 4 or 5 RSL guys that are like,
Injured.
yeah, / could be coming back soon. And you were just like, oh, okay. Well, we got a whole suite of guys up there.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're coming to get back at it. But apparently he was out with a heel injury.
Yeah, he didn't practice
Diogo.
on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
He was running, doing some stuff, but he wasn't.
But he wasn't in the yeah.
But he was practicing today, if that matters.
Oh, good.
So we get into halftime. It's 2-2. It's been an incredibly entertaining game. Halftime, make some noise. Let's hear it. Whatever the news is, whatever the sound is.
It's A.
We don't. Doesn't matter.
Woo!
Doesn't matter. Doesn't go on there.
It doesn't go in there. I'm
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da-ba-da.
loving it.
That's what it sounded like. What?
All right, so thoughts on halftime. Who gets your orange slice? And remember, if you see us out and about, say, hey, I deserve an orange slice. Tell us. You got to tell us why. I mean, did you do the dishes? Something. I mean,
Did you listen
Right?
to our podcast?
yeah.
All the
that's
way
even
through?
better.
All the way through.
Did you get the secret code? You got to listen all the way to the end to get the secret code.
And then you flip over your cereal box and use the magic decoder.
Oh, you guys are so old.
Eat more Ovaltine.
Drink more Ovaltine.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, so orange slice, Brennan.
Oh, I'm going to steal your guys's, and I'm going to say Rafa Cabral. Absolutely just brilliant performance. Block, sees that guy. He has a wide open shot. He already starts diving to where he thinks he's going to go, blocks it. comes up way far up in the 18 to meet the guy one-on-one, goes big, blocks the ball. And then I love seeing a goalie yell at the back line. Like, that's such a good leader right there. Yell at them every time they mess up. But yeah, Cabral.
Nice.
Tyler, Orange Slice from TV.
Xavier Gozo.
Dang it.
He's a young man from Utah, from the west side,
What's
from the
up?
hood. A kid, get after it, get a goal, play for RSL, be a big man. Love it. Wait for the guy to spread his legs.
If he actually watches this, he would probably think this is the dumbest podcast
It's
ever.
like, these guys sound like my dad. That's probably what he's thinking, right? Like, these guys sound like my dad.
These guys do voices and they can't say people's last names. Like, jeez, what is this place?
Love
Hey,
it.
as well as Xavier, I still have to take out the garbage occasionally too. So.
I do all the time. All right, so Brant.
Oh, okay. My Orange Slice. There's so many. There actually is so many to choose from.
You can,
And
yeah.
I was thinking Catranis because I
just-
thought he was
so
so
good.
dangerous.
But it can't be Caliscan. It can't be Agata.
Well, Caliscan
Did well.
He did relatively well. I mean, in the first game,
Especially against Jaden Nelson, who
Yeah.
is very dangerous.
Yes, Nelson got locked up.
Yeah.
in the first game, Justin Glad was just
Playing right back.
was right back and was
For the first
abused.
time in 3
abused.
years or
He's
something.
probably still having nightmares, and he will never ever play right back again. But let's see, Caliscan, you got Diego Luna, but you know what? I think I'm going to go with Emeka and Nelly.
So much work in this game.
Yeah, he was gassed by the end of it. But what I've watched Nelly, he talked about it in the start of the season too, is he gets the ball and he turns and he goes forward. He takes space. If you notice the last 4 or 5 games,
Yeah.
he's been more active because that's been the knock with those guys in the back. Their first pass is backwards.
Yeah.
Safety. They feel to be safe, it seems like. They don't want to make a turnover. But he has more confidence, and he just turns, and he is taking space, and he's busting it open in the middle. And he's doing a great job.
Yeah, good vision.
So,
Good
but there
vision
were a
from him in
lot
this
of
game.
good performances. It was well-played game, minus just the, we can talk about, is this –
Well, the
It
last
just-
play of the game, that last goal.
Is it just because they're a young team, or at what point, where does the blame fall? Where do you, on not being able to overcome these mental mistakes, defensive mental mistakes that have cost them goal after goal after goal?
Well, I think they have a get out of jail free card. I think it is the fact that there is new ownership. So now that there's new ownership, it's like, okay, what are they going to do? Like, what's this first window going to do for us? This trade window is going to make us like be the final piece, and we were just missing that one piece. I think that's a big one for right now, is just the fact that they get this reset button instead of just being like, it's not about the youth. It's the fact that we just aren't being aggressive. We're not brave enough at the moment, attacking wise.
So let me ask this question, because we talked about this a little bit last time about the Millers having a blank slate. And if I'm the Millers, if I own the team, I'm going to take this year and I'm going to take a look. Because right now, all of the pressure, all the blame, it's all on the Blitzer group and the coaching and the front office.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to step in and do anything that's going to change that, right?
Right.
But I'm going to look and see, hey, if this club is playing well and we get to the transfer window, will a signing make a difference? Or if RSL is, nowhere near playoffs, am I going to invest in a player instead? Or am I going to say, you know what, this isn't working, and it hasn't been working the last 4 years. They've tailed off the last 4 seasons at the end of the season. Pablo hasn't been renewed. His contract's up.
Why? Because I heard he's not a part of the church.
No.
No. I heard that he wasn't part of the church, so they're not going to resign it, right? So,
No, it's.
I'm pretty sure because I saw the people on the field.
Dude.
I saw the people. I saw all the what were the missionaries they sang and stuff.
Yeah.
That was really great.
Well,
that was
he
awesome.
he was.
Hey, that's
He
awesome.
was swearing at him. So.
Hey, they got the tithing money.
Swearing at him. It's like, get the hell out of here.
No, No, I think
They just have
why
to have
would-
their temple recommend.
Yeah,
That's all.
Yeah,
Nope.
we can fix that.
Oh boy.
Just think about look how big. Of a
Veering
player-
off course.
You know, if the
Slide down the
Millers,
river. Crash
if the
into
Millers
the river.
have some pull,
Oh,
we
boy.
could use a lot of everybody's tithing to buy the
Oh,
next
wow.
big star.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying? We could spend big money, no taxes.
So you're saying they might go halfway through the season and switch to a potentially good player rather than go out and get a
I
proven
wonder.
goal scorer.
I wonder what their thought process is, what the parameters are for them investing in this season, or saying, you know what,
Let's shut it down. And work for now.
do we just revamp? Like, are we bringing in a new coaching staff? Are we changing up the front office? Are we bringing in our people, and are we going to have a new vision for the club, and then in the off season start to use that window to bring in the player, as opposed to bringing somebody in like maybe a Diogo they did in the summer transfer window. He got 8-9 games with the club. He was going to be paired up with Chicho Arango. Now he doesn't have a partner, and
See, that's a hard thing to answer because as a business side, you got to look at that instead of just being a fan where you're like, just do it the best thing for the team. But really, it's a business decision.
and owning a sports club, having the fans on your side is huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
So I would want to keep all of that goodwill as long as possible until I start to make. I'm not going to just jump in and sign a big DP in the summer window and have it not work out. And
On your first role.
yeah,
And
so I'm going to make sure that things are going in the direction we want before I make a big move.
Yeah.
And I
That's
get
true.
that. And, you know, it's interesting because I've heard, like, a lot of weird vibes from people around Justin Glad recently. They're like, oh, get him out of there. And I'm like, he was not responsible for any of the goals, I thought, over the last, none of those three were Glad, right? None of the, he hasn't made a big mistake in a couple seasons, you know what I mean? Where he just passed it to the other team and they scored. Remember
Was
that
that
one?
2 seasons ago?
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I think he's at a peak, and I think he's playing really well. I think next to him might be getting to that level as well. But Vera got knocked out, right? So, he was probably on a time restriction in this one and whatever. But I think Vera can be that guy, but mentally, right, we've always kind of been like, when's he going to lose it and deck somebody? Right?
No, because he has tucked in his shirt, so I feel like he is a changed
There's
man.
Professionalism right there.
What
just
also,
tuck in the shirt.
but it is kind of like it is kind of a mental change for him.
Yeah.
Like tucking in his shirt, all of a sudden he's more reserved. He's found this newer way to play.
Yeah.
And I think he's absolutely. It probably shows in practice too that he's a changed guy.
Yeah, a little more professional, a little
He
less.
played really well.
around.
He had some nice defensive plays in the
Right.
game.
The thing that sucks about this window, though, I wanted to bring up is if they do and go by and maybe 2 DPs go crazy, who knows? Who are we getting rid of, or do we have to get rid of somebody if we get 2 more DPs?
So you can buy down DPs, but you can restructure their contract, but usually you just cut them loose because they don't want to take a pay cut to stay.
Gotcha.
Right.
And it depends on how we are on the 4 U22 plan.
Yeah.
There's a couple of plans if you have,
So we can only have 2 DPs.
so we can only have 2 DPs. If you want to have 3
Oh.
DPs, then you couldn't have as many
U22s.
U22s.
Plus, there's still that weird DP rule where we traded our forever DP slot to the Galaxy for
No, that was a
Porridge
international stop.
international.
We traded an international spot forever to Chivas, I think. And then
Was it to Chivas or to LA?
no, I think it was Chivas.
that
And
was
then
the
they ended
Galaxy.
up going out of business. Or,
Going out of business.
and then
Liquidation sale.
then what they did is it was like a youth international spot, and then they changed it to
something, yeah.
full international spot, and they didn't give us credit for it. It was just
Yeah, we didn't
weird.
get it back.
But
it's
if you
still
look at,
some
we've
weird
got
thing
like
out there.
14. We've got 14 international slots.
Right, and that
on the
doesn't
club
count
this
Pablo
year.
Ruiz because he got his green card, right? So,
wicked.
we're very international.
Yeah, at the moment.
But
So-
Gozo's a backyard kid. He's a Utah kid, so that's cool. Luna's a, San Jose-ish kid via New Mexico, right? Bringing it. Love what he's
And who knows?
bringing.
He may be gone in the.
Oh, dude.
I think a lot of people are planning on that
I think it's after this
this next window.
this next thing. Yeah, I think it's gonna happen.
See how he does. They've got the international break, a couple of friendlies with the U.S. men's national team, and then the Gold Cup in the summer. So
and if he shows up and shows out in the world
Oh,
in the
dude, there's
Gold Cup,
he's not
gone for
staying
sure.
in a small market like this.
No.
They can pray
Well-
all they want. It's not gonna happen.
and like any player, he wants to get to. You want to get as high as you can. You want to get to Europe in some form.
Yeah, I say Leeds United. That's my pick.
No.
They just got promoted. They want to fill up.
Yeah,
the
they love the
attack.
U.S.
Like
men's
the
national
US
team
kids.
guys.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's crawling or nothing. So,
Wait, what?
all right. Anything else at halftime? We've gone over a bunch of stuff, lamented a lot. Second half.
A lot.
Comes out.
And RSL puts pressure right on the box. They almost scored a goal right at the back, right? They had some nice pressure, give and go from Dom to Gozo on the end line, forces a save. And then they got a corner kick right out in like the first couple of minutes.
Oh yeah.
And then there was a nice ball from Ruiz. We didn't talk about Pablo Ruiz, who had a halfway
Okay.
decent game. I like the thought of having somebody next to Anelli that's a little more offensive minded. Ojeda and Anelli are almost two of the same. Mm-hmm. Their offensive abilities are similar. Their defensive abilities are similar. They're both incredibly talented. But having a Ruiz, if he was just a little bigger, if he was Ojeda size,
If he was a little bit sharper.
yeah, he's a little rusty. So
Yeah.
I like that, having just a little bit more offense in the middle there. But he got tired, and he does. Go ahead and tell him.
I really hate his defensive side.
Okay, yeah.
Go
ahead.
He got dispossessed in one of the plays on the far left. He got dispossessed, and generally, one thing I really rave about Gozo is when he gets dispossessed, he says, "No, I'm going to go get you again." Like it's like that kind of like you playing in rec. It's like you get the ball, take it,
Chase
you
the
gotta
ball
chase the ball
right
down.
back,
Yeah. So Ruiz gets the ball dispossessed, and instead of instinctually going, "I could probably still get that ball back," he backs up, gives him about a 5 to 10 yard gap, and then now he's just playing the line.
But
And
he's small. He's a small dude. So even
small is
dropping
one
that far, you don't cover that much ground.
Yeah, it's
You're not blocking
dude.
that great of a pass.
and they were able to move the ball up super far and then get some play towards our end. But it just showed it was like, okay, when we get dispossessed, that's when we were supposed to be the toughest team ever. We're supposed to be this rough and tough, they don't want to play us because we're so tough, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But then when you have another guy, once again, kind of like Palacio was almost the same way. He just kind of gave up. And I hate that.
Yeah, so I call that lazy defending. And to me, lazy defending is...
What does that mean?
It means they're being
So
lazy.
it happened right at the end of the first half where Agata just kept fouling everybody. He had like 3 fouls in a row. And the fourth foul, the ref's like, dude, I have to give you a yellow. You're just like kicking everybody.
Did you not see the
yellow card? Well, and he kind of missed, right, on that last one.
The one before, he just totally whiffed, and the guy jumped in the air.
Yeah, did you just see that? So
yeah, he was clumsy, is what I'm saying. And then when he lost the ball, he just kind of tried to run him down and knock him over before they could do anything. And that's what I'm calling lazy defending. Not being willing to run that extra 10, 20 yards for your team to get back in position and make him kick it back or sideways, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm talking about. So Agata doing that and kind of it felt like losing his mind a little bit with those 3 or 4 fouls right before the end of the half. It kind of set a weird precedent with the ref. And I think the ref at that point was like, oh, RSL are just going to come kick everybody. And so at the start of the second half, he kind of got card happy. Right? He got after Noel, which probably was borderline yellow. But then Anelli was like, bro, come on. And I guess he was trying to talk to him or say something to him. And he just yellowed him, right? And Anelli's like, I usually get more latitude with the ref than that. Right? And I'm like, dude, it seemed like he kind of got mad at RSL at that point and was like, okay, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to them now.
Yeah.
And we kind of flipped him to the dark side. somehow.
Yeah. The first half, RSL seemed to have a lot of the momentum till the goals, and they were just kind of holding on. The second half, same thing. Started early. RSL had some momentum, but Vancouver, the team that they are, that's why they're the best in the West, best in the league now. I think they're leading the Supporter Shield. They just started to just kind of ratchet up the pressure. Mm-hmm. But it was still entertaining. RSL was going forward. Vancouver was going forward. RSL, they were playing, maybe that was the issue. They were just playing a little too rough, but they were giving it their all. Thoughts on the no call in the 69th minute on Gozo heading into the box? Anywhere else on the field, I think they call that a free kick. It's just a boom, free
Simple
kick.
foul.
Simple foul.
Pretty
Boom.
simple foul. I don't.
Why not in the box? Is it because it was Gozo?
And
Because he's 18?
Yeah, and why didn't it get called down for review?
Well, I think it's because of the extra defender and the direction of the ball.
So you're talking about the guy behind him.
Well, so Gozo's probably inside the left back and the left center back.
Yeah,
he's
and
inside
he
that.
cuts into the channel.
Yeah, he cuts into that channel, and he's side by side. Not side by side, but he's with the center back, and then the left back is still there.
And the center back clocks him in the thigh.
Well, after the touch on the ball doesn't go directly in Gozo's path, and the defender is already on that ball. So Gozo, even if there was no challenge there, he wouldn't have not received that ball, and that's why.
Okay, so you're saying he didn't win the ball. So at that point, the ball's passed, it's in someone else's possession, and the bump is just incidental.
Not incidental. I think it is slightly a foul. It's not a 18-yard box foul, but it is a foul in the midfield.
Yeah, and was he in the box or was he just out? It was right on the edge.
It was on the edge.
Yeah.
Edge and going into the box.
Yeah. And so the announcers on the broadcast were like, that looked like a foul.
Yeah.
I would have called that a foul. And then nothing.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Because if that's Luna, maybe we get the foul. Maybe not. I don't know. Do we have anybody on our team that has enough respect?
I hate the fact that a person, like a different name, affects the play.
Right?
That's so dumb.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Does Messi get the call? Probably.
Yeah, for sure.
So one thing I wanted to point out, too, that was interesting that RSL was doing better this game than they have in the past is switching fields. They don't do it enough, but they did it more in the game, going from one side to the other, and they were more dangerous. That kind of helped Catranas a couple times. Get switched over. It helped Mark Chuk a couple of times get to switch the field of play from one side to the other. And they need to do it more because it seems to be with the way they're playing, it's almost always open over there, wherever the other opposite side of the ball, and then because we get tired of pointing, it's like over there.
Oh yeah, tons of unused runs. You saw Vera in this game a lot of the time. He's got his head up looking for it, but he doesn't trust it, or something is telling him off. Because Catranas was ready to make a bunch of runs. Luna tried to do a couple stuff, and yeah, we just need to be that longer ball is a lot longly missed.
Yeah. So when we start getting those to work out, are we going to get more calls too? Because
that reminds me.
know?
Did you see the call that should have given Vancouver the 3-2 before?
Oh yeah.
So let's go back to that. That's what I'm talking about with the ref being kind of pissy. So he had to stop play twice before that actual ball came in.
Oh, so he was like accumulating.
So he was like, as soon as he kicks the ball, I'm just going to blow a whistle because I'm tired of these guys doing what I've told them not to in the box. You can almost see it play out. He stopped it. He comes over. He's like, knock it off. He's waving his hands all crazy like quit it. And then they do it again. And so as soon as he kicked the ball, he blew the whistle.
And then the ball goes in the back.
I know.
And
I was
then
like,
everybody on RSL kind of stopped, kind of. But it went right to Brian White's head, and he put it right in the corner. We were like, oh, glad he called that.
Yeah, and then the review's like, I was like watching the replay.
I didn't see what happened there.
I don't see any contact.
They basically just annoyed the ref, and as soon as he took the corner, he just blew his whistle and said, sorry, you annoyed me. You know?
Yeah, lucky us.
And I'm like, you shouldn't do that as a ref. It should be based on, but also like yellow card that guy. That's what bothers me on corner kicks, is you're just doing all this jostling.
Do it.
If you pull on their jersey, give them a yellow.
Yeah.
That's a yellow card. It's fine. You can do that. But there's something there where refs don't want to card somebody for something they do with the ball out of bounds. You can. It's not a simple foul. It has to rise to the level of yellow card. But do it. Why not? I'd rather see that than a, random foul like that.
Or what about the one where Mark Zook got his foot touched?
We kind of got stomped, right?
No,
Yeah.
it was they were both sliding, and it was a little late, but still he made contact with his foot.
Yeah.
And so Mark Zook's playing it, and I was like, dude, that's literally almost this exact same thing Piol got a red card for. This is a lot softer, but still,
right.
But
that's a line between a red card and no foul play on.
Yeah, I don't.
And then there was the other play, since we're going on and on about this kind of stuff, but when Caliscan got wiped out.
Yeah.
Oh, bro.
Yeah. And the guy pulled his foot up pretty high off the ground.
Yeah, and that wasn't
and
called.
He didn't cleats up him, but his cleats were up.
The ref watched the whole thing and said, "Get up," and then kept with the run of play.
I know, and I was like, dude,
then you
call
got
some of that.
And Caliscan just totally wipes a guy out.
Yeah, I would too.
That
I'd
was
be like, all right, I'm
man.
taking my yellow card then. Let's see if that's.
Then you got the guys
that
watch soccer in the 70s. That's a good tackle.
That was a great tackle.
Yeah.
That was great.
Soccer was more physical, man.
Yeah. So, can't say it enough. Entertaining game. Entertaining, back and forth, up and down the pitch. We could talk about the subs maybe before we get to the deciding goal.
Yeah, so Quentin came in the 56th minute for Vera. Vera said he was gassed at halftime. And then we made Vancouver after that spew of yellow cards, which it ended up being Caliscan, Mark Chuk, and Luna all in a row. And Nelly didn't get his technically till the 94th minute, but whatever. T. Johnson came in for Adebukube.
Sam.
And Sabby came in for Nelson. So Nelson wasn't really doing anything. He was kind of getting his lunch eaten by the back line, and they covered so much better than when we played him up in Vancouver. And then the 71st minute, Piol for Agata, which I think was about 10 minutes late, honestly. Agata was not connecting with anybody. He was not doing it. Bring the sub on early, man.
I've got serious questions about Agata.
Well, he's got to stop getting cards.
Yeah.
He got to figure this stuff out. But
And at the same time, Junqua came on for Catranas.
And did you see the fans as he was walking around? No, he's like
he went
literally
off the far side
he went
of
off
the
the far
field.
side, so he's coming back around like the family section towards the north. And as he's walking around, you start hearing cheering, kind of dies. And then cheering. And you're like, it doesn't match the play. What's going on? And as he's walking around, he's going like this to have everybody clap and stuff. Like, that guy, dude, that guy is so impressive, man.
Yep. And then the third substitution was Ojeda for Ruiz.
And speaking about, let's look at Junca and Catranas. We've got two solid MLS left backs.
Yes.
Yep.
On one side, and then on the right side,
And even Vera.
We got a really solid midfielder playing the right back.
right side. Of course, I was a broken record all last season, and it's still this year is like I don't know how we don't have a solid right back, but it's you could probably maybe they had higher hopes for Hidalgo, who has shown glimpses of, and he's young, but at some point you just gotta wipe the slate clean and say, all right,
Yeah, let's redo this
Is
sketch.
that what you would do at right back? Just let go of Hidalgo, Brown.
Oh, Brown, yeah.
Brown gone. Caliscan. You're not a right back. Be the fifth.
No, Caliscan's going to be a backup midfielder.
Right. Be the fifth.
Oh, yeah,
Center defensive mid kind of thing.
Yeah, I would.
Fourth, fifth, whatever.
They have like those tryouts. Like
tryouts?
Maybe like
Like the Eagles tryouts?
RSL's next right back. You got to come in and you got to
Are you trying to pitch a show to
13-year-old
RSL?
a show?
A TV show? RSL's next great right back.
Owners leaving it all on the line.
Brought to you by the RSL Random Fan Podcast.
In this challenge, they're going to have to try and sing.
They're going to try to have to clear the ball after the ball's been played through the channel. And guess who's going to be there to intimidate them?
Mickey Mouse. No.
I was thinking, what was that old lady's name who did the horrible post-game what was her name? Do you remember the? Oh crap! She
Large
was horrible.
March? I don't know.
She would just ask horrible questions. She was coming, Justin. Now that the half's over and you kicked the ball really hard that one time, how did it feel to kick that ball really hard?
I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about.
And then she got a DUI, and then she just left.
I liked her. She got.
She was bad, dude.
I liked her.
She was bad. She gave the worst on-field interviews.
And she did get a DUI, but I hope she's doing well. I thought she got a lot of slack that she didn't deserve, but maybe it's because we were just jealous. We weren't the ones asking dumb questions at halftime.
Right, for sure.
So anyway, right back, left back, it's an issue.
Yep. Then we put in Ojeda. The yellow card on Ahmed. That was,
Yeah, he just kicked it away right after.
Yeah. And
It was like double kick it away.
That guy should have got a yellow before.
Yeah, right.
I thought there was a lot of gamesmanship, both sides, but mostly Vancouver.
Yeah.
And you gotta yell those guys for that, because I love it when the players just leave the ball alone.
Yeah.
Let's not go back. We're not going backwards. Let's not go back to that where people are just being
kicking the ball away.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot I wrote this. In the 76th minute, I think it was, there was a play in our box, and Cabral comes out and literally punches the ball but takes out the Whitecap, and he's literally just like, boom, hits him. And he turns to Quentin, and Quentin goes, "Let's go!" And just high fives each other like, we just took him out. Let's do this.
Yeah.
That was like my favorite part, man.
I love it.
So,
Sorry.
Yeah, and then 81st minute, La Borda come on for old Campo, which I thought was a well overdue sub, which we talked about.
Yeah, he got lit up.
He was getting lit up most of the game. Caliskin then subbed out for Bodie Hidalgo.
Oh.
And I texted Brennan, "Hey, Brennan, Bodie's on to save the day!"
Dude.
And he was on just in time to lose the game.
Yes. Well said.
So,
well, because at that 80th minute turn, it was like the momentum had shifted so much to Whitecaps. When he got subbed on, I was like, it's still a sinking ship, brother. Like, that's not really going to help us. And it didn't.
what does Johnny Russell got to do? Would Johnny Russell have been a nice?
Oh, what was the reason for him not coming on? Because Homeboy came on instead of him.
They mentioned it.
Hidalgo.
Was it? No. One of the subs was going to be Johnny Russell, like pre-planned.
Oh.
But one of these,
Was it Junqua?
maybe I think it was Katranis being too gas, possibly.
No, I think they
Or
were
was
planning on him.
Yeah, maybe
Right,
it was.
they plan on
God,
him
it was
most of the
somebody,
time.
or maybe it was
Maybe
Vera.
it was Caliscan that was just.
Maybe it was that
gassed
early
at
sub
the-
by Vera,
Could've
but
been.
one of them was supposed to be Johnny was supposed to play in this game.
Yeah.
And it's too bad because I've been to a couple practices with Johnny, and he just lights it up.
Really?
Yeah, he puts the ball in the back of the net. We went today and watched practice. Memorial Day, had the day off. Got to go watch, and he got drilled though like 3 times, like just boom.
Guys on our team just decking him.
Yeah, in some of the scrimmage, just like one right in the back. He's like, ah, and then one's in the leg. It's kind of hilarious, but yeah, he is.
He still got it, is what you're saying?
I think he still has it. If he can get in, he'd probably be a good sub in the 70th minute.
Right.
I agree with that.
He's gonna get 20 minutes, and he's gonna. If
He's
you're
our,
worried,
he's our new Julio.
yeah. If you're worried about the defense, you don't need. Most of the time, you don't need 11, 10 guys playing defense all the time. Most of the time, you need that outlet,
that
right?
late game goal. That's all we need.
You need that outlet to relieve the pressure so that you can possess the ball and move back up the field. So we'll see how it goes. We got 2 games and 2 games this week, Wednesday and a Saturday. We'll see if Johnny Russell can finally break through and get some more minutes, some meaningful minutes, and make a difference. One thing we're talking about, you were mentioning Vancouver with the momentum. You could kind of see the pressure. RSL wanted to win this game.
Absolutely.
They weren't trying to go home with a draw. They were trying to win the game. They were still going forward, but you could see that the young players, Dominic Markchuk, kind of near the end was making some.
He was one of the ones that was literally like, I think Pablo. I watched Pablo talk to him during one of the set pieces. I talked to him while he was getting water. He's like, "Hey, do you need to be out?" Because he was running so much. He was gassed that last 10 minutes, he was like too much work.
Yeah, he didn't want to. I think it was when Hidalgo was coming in.
Yeah.
He was like, I'm not coming out. Mm-hmm. That's when you pointed that out.
That's good. That's good that he wants to play and wants to stay in.
Yeah.
But I thought the pressure and then the fatigue was kind of building up, and they weren't making the best choices, which is what led to that third goal for.
Well, before we get to the third goal, it felt like right before that, was it Dom that played Piol in?
And then Piol chose
looked
Luna.
like it was on a breakaway, and he kind of got wiped out. It looked like he kind of got wiped out. And my daughter was sitting in the stands, and she was like, "That's Dogso, that's Dogso." But Piol jumped up and ran the ball down instead of just going like staying down and forcing a call.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And so my daughter was like, "Dude, it's Dogso," and maybe you get that call because he went right through Piol and didn't touch the ball. But Piol didn't stop. He jumped up and ran and got the ball, which ref's like, I don't want to call that, right? So play on. It seemed like that could have come back after the goal. The play before, if they would have went back and said that was a foul, you're out of the game. Was it Blackman, I think, that was on the...
Might have been.
Kicking him, getting tangled.
But Piol had an opportunity too because it came down to choices.
Yeah, that other one.
The one where he should have passed to Gozo, who was running right kitty corner to the 18.
Instead
he tries to shoot it to Luna, who's like got a dude in his pockets.
He had one before where he chose to shoot.
Oh yeah, he had.
It was like a minute before he took a shot when he could have passed.
Oh yeah.
And it was just like, and they were getting kind of desperate. But that's exactly what happened. They crossed the ball over to him, and that might have been the one where he got knocked down. He went and get the ball in the corner, and then he tried to get Luna, and Gozo was just like wide open.
Yeah,
wide open. So, and Luna, everybody knows where Luna is all the time. He's got like three guys following him around. The ball gets easily picked off, and then off they go.
Well, we forgot to talk about that fake bicycle kick that Piol threw out there. That was a great fake, dude. Everybody was like, "Oh, he's going for the bike." But Ojeda should have known. No, it wasn't Ojeda. Whoever was right behind him should have known it was a fake and should have just finished it. And then that would have been the best fake bicycle kick in the history of the game.
Yeah, he almost hurt himself.
Yeah, he kind of did.
And he was trying to bicycle a ball that was 8 feet in the air.
It's like, dude, if he catches that, that's cool. But again, the guy following behind him didn't think, oh, wow, what's that? It's kind of, he's like watching him. He's like, dude, that was cool. Instead of like, he's never going to get that. I'm just going to play on. I don't know. I thought that was weird. Anyway, I thought it could have been called back for that, and nothing. Again, it's almost like the only time VAR shows up is when it sucks for RSL. And I'm so tired of that. So tired of it. I think we've had one VAR call for us this season and like 8 against us.
Yeah.
It does. Like it's not even close to balanced out at all.
Well, we're not halfway through. It'll get there.
Yeah, it's gonna
trust the process,
out.
Tyler.
There is no process. That's the problem. There's no process. I still want to have a challenge flag where the ref, the one time a game, Pablo can like throw a challenge flag and be like, "I want you to go review that."
They should have a challenge flag for the coaches and one for a fan. So,
just one fan.
And when everybody wants to press the button.
And if ever the chant for "you don't know what you're doing" gets over a certain decibel level, then they go to review again. That would be fantastic. I love that. Yes.
Jason Alexander from West Valley, he's thrown out the challenge flag.
On behalf of the decibels of the crowd,
Rebecca Mortensen from Logan, she's decided that that play was not right, and so she wants it to go to VAR.
Jimmy from downtown Salt Lake decided he's going to throw the flag.
You should just
now.
record the game and just have that as a thing, like in the chat.
Throw your flag. Everybody gets a flag. So, all right, let's get to the goal. That last goal, the thing that sucks about that goal is it was really pretty.
Yeah.
Right, Vitae's a good player and stuff.
Cabral can stop pretty much 90% of what MLS has to offer, and that one was a quality one that would have worked in other leagues as well.
Yeah, RSL was gas.
And the sub that came on for them was number 11, Sabi, and he's kind of dangerous that way. And he was coming at our left side, and so Anelli kind of had to crack back on him to try to pressure to get the ball back, to try to get us back upfield to get us a goal. And normally he doesn't crack back on that, right? He allows the defender to do it. But I think we were kind of pushing for our goal. And so he kind of came at him, and Sabi had the presence of mind to just knock it back to Vitae, who just took his time, spun, and put it right in the corner. So,
yeah, it's tough. I mean, RSL, it doesn't happen if they make better choices, which Pablo goes on and on about. Young club, young team, they make better choices. If Pio just finds Gozo and RSL kind of waits, builds up
Numbers.
gets some numbers and tries to get a shot on goal, maybe it changes, maybe it doesn't. But that turnover, RSL was spread out. They quickly got it down there, and it was a lovely goal.
yeah.
And you can't blame Anelli. I think
No.
I think it was Justin that was getting mad at him or somebody.
No.
Right after that play, wasn't somebody yelling at him?
Right, but like you said, you're pushing in the 90th minute to get the ball back, to get it back
Yeah.
upfield for your team. You know, you believe in them. So you can't fight. You know, I don't think you can fault him.
And we came this close.
Yeah.
This close to tying it up in the end when on that last corner kick, I think it was a free kick, the ball's bouncing around in there, and it falls right to Gozo.
Who
And
instead of stepping and kicking, he just
right leg it. Yeah.
And his leg was so far away from his body, it was always going to go over.
Yeah, I don't think it went like way right too.
yeah, there was quite a few shots from both teams that sailed high and wide. So RSL disappointing for a lot of reasons, going up 2-0 and giving away 3 unanswered goals after not scoring in 2 games, and you get a couple of early goals and you can't find that third one to really seal it.
But as far as losses go, like I'd rather see 3-2 than 0-1.
I agree with that.
We don't score at all, and
fully agree with that.
right, like
No, it's we measured up to the best team in the league. We had a chance to literally run away with it, and you can't really be too mad. But it just shows. I think it's adding to the resume of who is coming next. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, this is how important this next player is going to be based on all these bad games we've been having. So it might be a good thing.
could be.
All right. That's it for that game. Nothing to report on Crawleytown. I know people are probably...
Wait, what about coming up? What about coming up for RSL? Who do they have coming
Okay,
up?
let's talk about RSL coming up. We've got Austin. How's Austin doing? We can look up the standings.
They're one of the teams below us.
Wow,
which is
there's only
nice.
like 2 of them.
Yeah.
They're
Isn't that
almost
fun?
up.
They had a really bad year last year too, so that's fun.
They're ahead of us.
Oh wait, Austin. Yeah, did they win this week?
Yeah, they're in 9th place.
Oh, they're on 19 points. Dang it.
You're thinking
I was
Kansas City,
thinking
St.
of
Louis.
St. Louis, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Kansas City, St. Louis, and Galaxy are the other teams worse than us right now.
5 wins for Austin, 6 losses, 4 draws. They're sitting at 19 points while we are at 14 points. 4 wins, 9 losses, 2 draws for Real Salt Lake.
Yeah.
So I think let's talk about those 2 games. It's a big opportunity for RSL.
Wednesday, midweek game.
And then LA Galaxy.
Central Time.
LA Galaxy on Saturday. Couple of road games. Great way to really solidify the chemistry on this team and have some good performances. And if they can get a couple of results,
Ride the wave.
and go into the international break on some great feelings, that would be the best outcome. If they get 2 wins, obviously, that's what Pablo and Ellie and they keep talking about. You only need a couple of wins in a row in this league to really turn things around, get things going. But you got to get those wins. So how are they going to get those wins?
And we are on 14 points, so 2 wins right now would put us at, so that's 6 points. So that would put us at 20, and that would put us back above the playoff line. So it's true, right? There's a lot of parity, but man, what's our goals against? What's our goal differential now? Don't tell me
7.
it's 22 like LA.
7.
-7.
-7. Which isn't too bad, man. How bad would it be without Cabral, though? I think we would be. Holy
right?
cow!
Yeah.
He might be the only difference in 2 wins, but we'd be right there with St. Louis and the Galaxy.
Yep.
Cabral, he has a chance to be, knock on wood,
So far, he's our MVP, right?
one of the best. He's definitely one of the 2 best goalies that's ever played at RSL right now, and he could be the best.
We'll see. High praise for 3/4 of half a season. We're only half a season in.
Yeah, but he's just got it all there. So hopefully his age doesn't catch up to him. I keep knocking on wood, man.
Oh my gosh!
Don't
put that out. Yeah,
Quit hoping for.
So Austin in Texas, I think RSL has a grand total of 2 victories in all of Texas over the years.
One of them was this year.
No, we lost in Dallas.
Oh, we did. Oh, damn.
Remember Anderson Julio?
Yeah,
That guy.
Yeah,
And then LA on the weekend, and who knows? Nobody wants to give LA their first victory.
Hopefully it's not us, right?
Yeah, and they play on Wednesday too, and I think if they lose, they will tie the worst start in MLS.
history.
And in soccer history ever.
Ever in
Gosh.
soccer history.
Yeah.
No, that's not
No, I
true.
thought
mean-
Crawleytown had that.
I mean, there's been better rec leagues
Oh.
or teams anyway. So 2 big games. We'll see if how much they rotate, or they just kind of like, we got a break coming up. Be really interesting to see if Johnny Russell gets some time in there.
oh, he's got to be getting some time.
So
Yeah, the other thing I thought, like the weird stat of the game for me, was when I looked at the XG, they were 3.4.
and we were only like 1 point.
We were like, 1.4. But I think if they call the dog-so or the penalty, or if one of those other calls goes for us, I think a penalty is like 0.8 by definition, right? Something like that, 0.85 or something. XG, because you're taking a penalty. So, that puts us right up there with them. But, again, we gave them 1 right off that header. Weird. XG ended up weird in this game.
Yeah, I thought so
Didn't
too.
tell
But
the story. A lot of times it does, but this time I think it just didn't.
one of the things too in the previous game, RSL had 15 crosses, and whenever RSL gets up 15, 20 crosses like that, that's not a great sign. Only 6 crosses in this game for RSL.
Oh, that's 2 years ago humor.
No. I think it's still true. RSL hasn't scored on a set piece. They aren't good in the box. So when RSL is playing better, they are controlling the ball. The ball's on the ground. Not a lot of crosses. When they kind of got desperate and they just lob balls in, and they get up to 15 crosses, 20 crosses, man, that's win.
Yeah, spray and pray doesn't work very well for us.
No, not a lot working for RSL, at least on the offensive side at the moment.
Yes.
But that spray and pray definitely doesn't work. So,
Especially when the wind's going against you. Spray and pray.
all right, so now, come on, Crawley update. Now there's nothing going on. It's the off season. Congratulations to Sunderland making it back to the Premier League, and enjoy your season there next year. If you do want to watch a great soccer documentary, watch Sunderland Till I Die. There's like 3 seasons. It's really, really good. And then in League One, Charlton Athletic moved up to the championship, and in League Two, it wasn't Walsall. It was Walsall lost to the team that went up. I just looked at it today.
What other team got moved up?
So we lost in the Premier League. Leicester again,
Oh,
Ipswich
yeah.
again, and Southampton again. Those all were the 3 teams that won. And I think Southampton won the playoff. Yeah, because they beat Leeds
They beat Leeds to.
in the playoff last year. Southampton did. And Leeds is coming back up.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, AFC Wimbledon.
Oh, yeah.
The team you were going to follow.
Yeah.
Because of the tennis thing.
Well, Wimbledon was a club that moved to Milton Keynes, that's the MK Dons, in 2001. And in 2002, the loyal fans from Wimbledon started their own club, AFC Wimbledon.
Nice.
So they are moved up to League One.
Had a kid.
If you care about that stuff.
And then the Champions League spots, Liverpool took first, Arsenal second, Man City third, Chelsea fourth, Newcastle fifth, and Tottenham 17th. Those are the Champions League spots from the Premier League. The 17th, yes, the team that barely didn't get relegated, qualified for the Champions League because they won
The Europa Cup.
consolation prize.
And they played a team that did not want to win that.
It was almost like Man U was like, I don't really want to. No, I don't.
I don't want to talk about
They
it.
couldn't. Man U couldn't afford it if they'd have won.
Yeah, and then the other
those
team
bus
that
parades
was,
are a lot.
The other team that was cool is Crystal Palace won the FA Cup, and so they get a Europa League spot. So Europa League spots go to Crystal Palace and Aston Villa.
And Nottingham Forest did a great job.
Oh, they tanked
They
the
spent-
second half of the season.
They
They were
right
in
now.
second for like half the season, and like right at the end, they just lose.
And they're out of Europe. No Champions League, no
Champions
Europa
League.
League.
Yeah, they got nothing. Because the last spot would have fallen to them, but Tottenham and Man United won that game. And then Crystal Palace beat Man City in the cup final.
That's crazy.
So both of
Dude.
those things went against them. So.
Man City's insane right now.
I know. They keep saying, oh, there's all this stuff pending against them. They're going to drop 3 divisions.
No, they're not.
And then nothing. So
No. Money.
still nothing. Money buys a lot of stuff in this world, apparently.
All right. So thanks for listening. Remember, follow
What's our
us.
code? What's our secret code?
You'll just have to wait.
No, the secret code at the end of the episode.
Applesauce is the secret
okay.
code.
Applesauce.
Applesauce.
Drink more Ovaltine. That was the secret.
We got 2 of them.
And remember-
Applesauce and drink more Ovaltine.
You'll put your eye out.
Don't shoot your eye out.
You'll shoot your eye out. If you everybody knows what we're talking about there. So subscribe, follow, like, share wherever you get your podcasts. Also go to Hooligans space, whatever it is, -soccer.com. We're on there now on that network. It's a fantastic network. There's a lot of great other podcasts on there, like the Designated Pundits. We talked to Scott Omer from there. But do us a favor, follow us, subscribe to YouTube channel. We have putting up a lot of video on there from after practice, after the games. The Get to Know You segments, Sam Junka is coming up next. We just did a Mecca and Anelli.
Yeah, that was good. Who did that one?
Which one?
Anilli.
I did.
Nice.
Oh, I wanted to talk to you.
That was good. He was like, you're going to cut out all this stuff where I'm just thinking about the answers, right? That was funny. I was like, no, we left it in.
I really wanted to know what book he was reading.
I know, he couldn't think of the name. He's like,
like-
no, it's like one of those self-help books. Yeah, which one?
For mental acuity. Well, we put him on the spot.
Yeah, I know. Pull up your Audible and check it out. Let's see it. Anyway, no, that was a good one. Good job.
So anyway, thanks for listening. Do all that for us, and remember to hit us up for those, what do you call them?
Orange slice.
Orange slices.
slices.
The orange slice sticker. And I still owe Mark his.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, Mark.
But anyway, thanks for listening.
Ciao.
See you.